Here we go. This is like the waiting game. See if anybody's going to turn up. Oh, looks like 3 people here. Guys, listen, I'm not too sure if you can hear me or not. My camera broke, my webcam broke. Oh, here we go. Arshina, hiya, big brother's watching. Hey, happy days. My apologies about the audio and the camera. Can you hear me okay? Ah, fantastic, fantastic. Sounds okay. Thanks, David. Hey, guys, what the hell? So my apologies. Oh, this is lovely. Guys, thanks very much for taking time out to watch this. Cheap shot. Ah, oh, Tim, everybody, happy days. My YouTube family. So guys, listen, it's strange here because I intended to do it on the other monitor there, but when I was linking the webcam to it, it wasn't picking it up. It was coming up, it was highlighted on till it, so at the moment, let me see, I'm going to shut this one down, just look at myself here. Ah, here, okay, this is handy. Sorry guys, bear with me. Okay, so what I was going to do, I was going to do it in the other monitor, but when I connected it up, the light came on for the monitor, but basically it wasn't, there was no picture, it was a black screen. So I've been trying for the past 2 days, and main technology is no good. So yeah, happy days. Listen, any questions, ask away. I'm an open book. There might be a few pages that you can't get seeing or hearing about, but if you have any questions, ask me. Just loving seeing all your names here, guys. This is a first for me to do this one. David, wee bad wolf can hear you. David Lewis, Sheena, happy days. So guys, listen, what was I going to say? I was out this afternoon taking photographs at a Black Lives Matter rally here in Belfast. Now, I don't know what your views are on it, and I don't want to be political. Not me, I don't want to be political. Mr. Duncan Politics. But it was a strange one because obviously I can only speak for myself here. What happened in America with that fella was, in my opinion, absolutely appalling, disgusting, and beggars belief what's happened. So there's rallies everywhere. But here's the twist: because of the COVID-19, obviously people still keeping distances and other people's not. That's okay. But we're still technically in lockdown here. And there seems to be a lot of mixed vibe coming because people are hammering those who went and said, oh, you shouldn't have gone because at the end of the day that, you know, you're spreading COVID-19. I'm sure it's throughout the world. But I have to say, it was fantastic to watch. It was fantastic to be there. And I have to say, COVID-19 wasn't really on top of anybody's mind. So I photographed it, I put them up on my Facebook page. Let me see, looks like a doctor's office. Oh, you hey boy, looks like a doctor's office. I know it needs a bit of colour, doesn't it? This is my spare room, by the way. Audio visual good, sounds fine. I'm laughing at you, David, you're a character. London backpacker, Acme old friend, long time no see. Wee bad wolf, you Belfast? Name is familiar, but what is he? Paul Greenfield, did you ever shoot with film? Paul, listen, but I used to. Obviously, I came 1986. I got into photography, and that's what I learned on. That's what I shot was film, and to me, it was a fantastic section of road. Most of my old photographs were all film, but as mentioned in another video, if you go through my archives or my playlist, I'm a vegan now, so obviously. Animal products, you've got the gelatin. So I refuse to shoot film because of the animal products. As a vegan, I can't shoot them. Well, I can shoot them, but as a vegan, I don't want to, and I choose not to. But there's also a twist in it, Paul, because I think the chemicals involved in it now, there's nothing that is, carbon free, or there's nothing, the carbon footprint. Everything has a negative effect on the planet some way. So has digital. But to me, the chemicals aspect of it in this day and age is not something that I would do, even if I wasn't vegan, I have to say, because maybe it's because I've been there and I've done it. But to shoot a 36 exposure and maybe only come out with one frame, and all the chemicals, the developing of it, you've got your stop bath, you got your wife, your developer, your fixer, and then you've got your negatives. And then if you're going to be printing this all the same thing, where's the chemicals going? They're getting poured down the drain. So to me, man, sorry, long-winded answer, but no, I don't shoot film, I have to say. I miss the vibe of the darkroom. The darkroom, when I went, and I worked as a darkroom technician, and I developed thousands upon thousands of films and hand printed thousands upon thousands of photographs. So I miss that, because there is something magical about, like, I remember the first time that I put my print into the developer, and just moving that tray and seeing that image coming out of nothing, it was absolutely fantastic. So I can genuinely understand why people are shooting film. There's that nostalgia. There's a lot of photographers there who probably didn't go through the analog days, and they're just younger people and they've only shot digital, so they want to try it. But no, I don't miss it. I don't miss it. I think the convenience of the digital. I'll give you a wee example of this. When I was working as a press photographer, years ago, when you took photographs, you would have had I had a darkroom in my bathroom, and when I was in there printing, nobody got to go to the toilet, of course. Definitely not a number two. But when you're developing the photographs, let's say you came across, living in Belfast, you came across riots and shootings and bombs going off. So if you got a scoop, you got a photograph, you went back to your darkroom, printed off, I'm not joking you here, about 5 photographs of the same photograph. Then you would have had to go round all the press, the newspapers, into the photo editor and let them see the photograph, or take it over to the press agency. There was no email at that stage, so the convenience. But I remember one time being sent up, the Irish News, Brendan Murphy, a hero of mine, sent me up till Casement Park to take photographs. And of course, before you had film, you know what I mean, you had to get it right. So if he said, tell you, okay, we're holding the front page, make sure you had to say to yourself, shit, these are holding, it was a Sunday, and here's me, they're holding on the front page for this photograph. And I remember feeling so fearful, because you didn't look at the back of the camera, you had to get it right. And I remember that feeling of fear getting down, and when the development came out, he said, no, we're not going to use it anyway. But nowadays, just turn the camera. I mean, bang. Turn the camera around, oh, I've got it, or too light, too dark. Take it again. You can't really miss, like. So, long-winded. No, I don't shoot film. Do you shoot film though? Let me know. Here we go. Just going down here. Okay, I've got some here. I've never developed my own, but I have almost finished shooting my first roll, 30 plus years for the results. Let me see now. Tim. Tim, Cheap Shot Photography. Guys, if you don't know Tim's work, I'm sure you do, but he's actually a great photographer, lovely person, and a podcaster as well. And if you see anybody here on this feed, connect. It's all about networking, guy. We're all students of photography, and we'll all learn from each other. But Tim's a good guy. Where did the comments go? Did the comments disappear? Let me just see here a second. They've appeared again. Good to see you. Watching from Glasgow. Hey, Glasgow. Happy days. Give my load to Glasgow, dear old Glasgow town. Anyway, that's a different era. Probably not even the right song, I worked with a Glasgow fella, guy called Derek Wright. It's an old story here. And from about the late 80s, I was in London working, and I met this Scots fella. Like I said, Scots rather than Scotch. He made it clear. He said Scotch is a whiskey. But basically, he called him Derek Wright, and he was a Rangers supporter. And of course, I was born a Catholic nationalist and mainly supported Celtic. Well, and he was a Protestant then. But such a nice guy, and all we used to do was get drunk and sing songs. And of course, He said he wanted to open a driving instructor school and was going to call it Right. What is it? We call it Right Learner because his name is Right. He said Right. I can't remember, but it was something nice play on words. But there you go. Hey Glasgow. Let me see what we've got here. I agree with something magical about film. Andrew, how you doing, Andrew? Something magical about film and printing pictures, but digital so much more. I agree, 100%. Okay, so I've got the big screen here, and they're a wee bit delayed on it. Where's all these comments going? They must disappear, do they? Tell me it disappeared. Oh, I hope I haven't turned them. There's a go in there. My apologies, guys. Could somebody just keep me updated if, for talk's sake, the audio goes to the picture? I'm really sorry. Those of you who just joined me, my monitor over there has a webcam on. It was very, very clear. For some reason, it wasn't working. Tried it for the past 2 days to get it sorted. The laptop webcam is disaster. So my apologies if this is not working. Okay, David Lewis, shooting weddings with film gave me the same feeling. Buddy, a wedding photographer, were you? I have done weddings as well. I get it. And I think that's a difference between old school wedding photographers and wedding photographers now. If you happen to be a wedding photographer now, I'm not knocking you, but I want to talk about this. David, I'm sure you can resonate with this, and maybe some of the others who are wedding photographers. I shot about 12 weddings in my day, yet I wasn't a wedding photographer. I had a studio and I done portraits. I mainly done PR and advertising, but obviously, when you were on to get a bit of money up for gear and things like that, you'd normally always started off with portraits and weddings, you know what I mean? But I never really liked it, I have to say. In fact, I think about 10 people I photographed at their weddings, all divorced and separated. So don't let me photograph your wedding. But yeah, that feeling, and that's the difference between a wedding photographer in the old school days and the wedding photographers now. As I say, I'm a knocking you possibly a wee bit, but when you shot film and you had to know about lighting, you had to know about the composition, you had to know about, the routine of the wedding. And you also had to know that if the lighting conditions changed, plus you were shooting one particular ISO or ASA film, you couldn't switch, like if it got too dark or got too bright, you wanted to shift the ISO. And you had to get it right. So to me, David, I know you said you liked that. I didn't. You said, no way, too much stress, man. But nowadays you can just shoot them. And sadly, that's why wedding photography now is, I have to say, I don't think it's the same profession. And as I say, if you're a wedding photographer, my apologies. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that I'm looking now. We've shot about 28 photographs for a wedding. And that's good. Normally about 18 photographs would have got you a basic wedding album. 28 where you were pushing it. Now people are giving out thousands of photographs for the wedding, and I just can't get my head around it. In fact, really, like 1,000 photographs, do you really think your photographs are that good to give somebody 1,000? Like, who does that? And also the prices. So anyway, that's it. Ian Rothwell, Ian, how are you, buddy? I've done very little film, but remember my dad in the 50s with his makeshift darkroom in our bathroom. Yeah. Definitely. I think anybody who has a darkroom at home would understand that. Do you know what I mean? I remember me and the blower, we shared a flat together. And I was, 17? So he was 21, me and him shared a flat together. And I remember hogging the bathroom, and he's blocking the door. Open the door, I'm going to piss myself, open the door. I'm shouting, go out the back. You know what I mean? In the middle of the housing estate, like, here we go. Just having a wee look at your comments here. So guys, listen, a lot of comments went on previously here about confidence about taking photographs of strangers. And I have to say, I was going to make another video, but I forgot that I made one a couple of weeks back. So check through the feed and you'll see about photographing strangers. I'll try to add links in it after this finishes, but okay. London Backpacker, been shooting film for the past 18 months, really enjoying it over digital. Great photographer. It doesn't matter what you're shooting, you're nailing the photograph, brother. I just happen to be scanned down here. Okay. Saved faves makes sense. Agree 100%. Wedding photographs. Andre did the wedding once. Not my favorite experience. Too stressful. I give it. I think a wedding photographer is a talent. It's a gift. And I think you either have to specialize in it, but see if you dip your toe into it. Like at the end of the day, most of us here would probably be street photographers, documentary photographers. I use the term street photography when I'm out in the street because it's easy for people to understand, but I'm a photographer and I'm sure you're the same because if we say that, oh, I'm a street photographer, then we're ruling out all the other things. Like I also occasionally do still life. I also do documentary. I also do landscape. And I take a lot of shit photographs in all of them genres, but I don't want to be pigeonholed as a street photographer. But I think, I think that's a difference between wedding photographers. It has to be your calling, I have to say. My late dad had an old brownie, as he called it, period, peace now. Have you still got it? Timeless. Have you still got your dad's brownie? Wouldn't that be an amazing experience to have if you had your dad's camera? Like, imagine that there. I've got a camera down the stairs, by the way, and it's a box camera. And there's something, I don't know if it's my imagination, maybe you do it, leave a comment down below, but basically whenever I'm holding an old camera that's not my own, you start to imagine what it's capturing. Do you know what I mean? What went through that? What happiness did it record? Maybe what sadness it recorded. But the stories and nostalgia, sometimes I'd hold a camera and try to look down it and all. I'll try to imagine it. I've got a series following in the photographer's footsteps. Basically, it's just where I would be going to a place and document it. I've got the photographs handy here. I'm starting it again. But basically, I've got a load of old photographs and I'm going to start to go to that place and try to stand exactly where the photographer stood and recreate it. Photographs over 100 years. But if you look for a playlist, following your father's footsteps, following in the photographer's footsteps, there's one there when I shot in Tramore. It was very interesting to do, enjoyed it. Okay, here we go. I've just started a 365-day project built around our hope for recovery from COVID lockdown, hoping to do plenty of street-based pictures. Ian, that sounds fantastic, man. Good on you. Where have you got your platforms? As many of you on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Flickr. Is people still using Flickr? Leave a comment below, and at any stage you want to leave the links to your platforms. Now I know most times YouTube puts it in the spam, but I always check my spam. So if you want to, guys, leave comments and links in this here video to where you are and let other people. And guys, check each other out because I get so much inspiration by looking at your work. And I think that's very, very important, Let's see. Timeless, sadly, no. Okay. That is sad, isn't it? But you know something? You never know. You might pick it up in the old charity shop. Go out and get yourself a brownie. You'll pick one up for about 10 quid, maybe 15 quid, and dedicate it to your dad. Put it there. Put a wee photograph of your dad, if you've got one, beside it, and send positive vibes to it. You know what I mean? Let's see. Some of the very old Victorian cameras were used to photograph dead people. Exactly. David, you're 100% right. I think it was about 10 years ago. I seen a load of mortuary photographs on eBay. Fucking horrific. But it was a thing they'd done. They were actually propping people up, and also people getting their babies and kids and, standing holding, or like a family photograph, and they would have put the wee dead bodies in the photographs and things. And now, grief it affects everybody in different ways. But I think when you think about photography, we're probably taking photographs for granted now. But imagine it was possibly near the first time that they would have had access to having a photograph, something tangible that they were able to hold on to and to carry it about with them to show their baby or show their husband. I don't know. I don't know if I would do it. I remember years ago you used to take the big curls of hairs and all this hair business of dead people and give them, say, here's your granny's hair or there's your uncle's hair. Do you know what I mean? Something that be very, very scary, like locks of hair. Okay. Wally W7, hi, I'm loving the channel. I don't bother with social media. I'd like to create a zine. Any recommendations for where to get it produced? I tried Blurb and the postage was extortionate. Okay. It's a friend of mine, John Bulletin. Now, if you look up a few videos back, I've done an interview with him. He's a documentary photographer in England. And he's just released a wee zine. Have I got any up here? Down the stairs. I'm up in the office. I would go and get you. But basically, if you look at John Bulletin, there'll be links on that video. Check him out on Instagram and on Facebook. And he's got a wee zine. What the hell do you call that company? Have I got that sitting about here? Disasters. Me letting on I'm all well organised and all too. It's something like Maxim. Maxum. It's a printers in England. And he got like wee zines done. He was selling them for £5 a pop. And they're wee A5 ones. And I don't think there were much money to get them done. But the quality I thought was very good for that. So check it out. Go to the video with John Bulletin, where I interviewed John Bulletin. I think it was December 2019. Yep, 2019. And there'll be links to John, and you should find it that way. Okay. David Lewis, Facebook and YouTube. David, if you've got any links, sir, throw them in. Lexi, Alexander Starr. New friend from years ago. How you doing, darling? Sending you love. I hope you've got that book done, your self-portraits. And Lexi, drop in any links you have to your website. Lexi's a real dear friend of mine, and as I say, we go back years. And as I say, I love her portraits, her self-portraits and things like that. Check them out, definitely. So Lexi, Alexandra, sorry, drop in any links you've got there to your site. Times, great idea. Have loads of photos he took over the decades. How fantastic is that? That'd be brilliant if you'd done that, man. Okay. Well done, Ian. Dropping in your Instagram. Fantastic. Hey, Keith. How you doing, buddy? Scoopinifity. I'd put the T at the end of it. Scoofinifity. Scoopa. Niffy. 9050. Any news on the podcast? I have to say, if you can see in the background there, I got a new mic. Okay. Got the mixers. It took me ages to get them all connected up because the podcast wasn't. I have got the jingle sorted out. I've got the wee intro bit all sorted out. I'm looking for hosting because initially I was just going to put them up on a website, but everybody's saying do it right, get a proper hosting crowd and put the podcast up. I want to get some interviews started next week. Okay, so watch out for everybody. I'm going to be reaching out to you guys for interviews. I've already got a few years' names down. Rosemary McKenna, my sister. I love you. See that girl there, Rosemary McKenna? I have to say, I hope it don't embarrass you, Rosie. I love you so much. If it hadn't been for Rosie, I have to say, guys, so much of this would not be possible. Okay, and as I say, I tell you that I just want to put it out there, Rosie, and you're probably going to be embarrassed, but my ma died, or our ma died when I was 5. Rosie, I think you're about 14, 15. And Rosie took on the mantle from that. So as I say, I'm 52 now. I'm the youngest of 6, and I'm still the baby of the family when it comes to Rosie. So as I say, love you and happy to. Hope it didn't embarrass you. I'll give you a shout tomorrow. Okay, I'm on Instagram and YouTube, Chit Photography. Ian, that's brilliant. Sean Dara, always see you on Facebook. Exactly, Sean, how are you, buddy? Alexander Starr, thank you, no website anymore. I took it offline recently for good, kind of slowed down on self-portraits now, concentrating on bonsai and learning ukulele. So good to see you live, babe. So good to hear from you. I'm sad to hear about your website, Lexi. You were fucking phenomenal. And your book and things like that. So, and Old Raver, hope you got them photographs done off it. Listen, drop us a wee message and we'll hook up. And say, if you're ever in Belfast, we'll give you a wee shout, okay? And we'll hook up. Sean Dara, it gets me homesick. Sean, where are you from? Oh, Melbourne, you're now. All right, buddy. Must be early in the morning for you. What would it be? About 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning? Sending you love, brother. from the old homestead. You're embarrassed me, Rosie McKenna. Here, that wouldn't have been the first time I've embarrassed you. For fuck's sake, embarrassed myself. Let me have a look at these comments here. Okay, this is brilliant. Sean, if you need any info on hosting for a podcast, we can talk. Brilliant. Let's do that. 100%. And do us a wee favour. Drop us a message, will you? And I'll email you. Let me just have a wee look down here. Okay, all the best from Melbourne. Not that old. Okay, maybe a bit older now. Did the book, but it needs an update. Maybe one day with the quieting down. My youngest son and his family visited 3 times. Well done, man. I will message you. I still have your email. That's brilliant, Lexi. Definitely. Or if you've got the original one, that would be perfect. So guys, listen. I'm going to just keep talking, tell you here. Don't be keeping you back, by the way. But what's your views on this? Not the views on COVID-19. Does it exist or doesn't exist, or who caused it or what caused it? What do you think about getting out there and taking photographs? I know I touched on it in one of the previous videos, but it seems to be there's that fear, but I think we have to, as photographers, to document this section of road, because hopefully when this is gone, it's gone. But I still think we should be documenting it, because, as I say, I've always said that we're capturing the present so those in the future can look back at the past. And if you look back at all the old photographs, let's see, I'm going to be talking about this guy here briefly. I don't know about you, I love the old photographs. But, by the way, have you heard of this guy, Father Brown? Okay. This guy is phenomenal. He was a Jesuit priest, based originally from Cork in Southern Ireland. And he was, you ever see the photographs on the Titanic? The old captain and all? But Father Brown, he's a Jesuit priest, and he followed it over from England till Cork. And he got in with a couple of rich people, and they were going to pay for his ticket to go from Cork over to America. So he sent a telegram to his superior and said, look, can I stay on the ship? And he said, get off that ship, get back to your parish. So he got off, and of course the Titanic, Belfast claim to fame, sank. But this guy is phenomenal. Father Brown, I'm going to do a video solely on him, but see his photographs, guys. I'm telling you now, this is an unsung hero. And what happened was, I think it was about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, 87, a wee bit older than that, 30 years ago. A Jesuit priest was going through a big case inside where all the Jesuits are living, Jesuit priests, opened it up, and there were all his photographs and his negatives. And this guy here, you wouldn't see. So check him out. So basically, I'm telling you now. But getting back to, he documented a slice of life that he witnessed throughout the world, mainly in Ireland, but in England and elsewhere. But this is what are we taking our photographs for? Are we just taking photographs for the sake of taking them? Or are we leaving something for the future to look at? And I think this COVID-19 is something really important that we should document. Let me just have a look and see here. I'm just checking to see. Sorry, I keep tapping the screen here. I just wanted to see where the messages are. I hope using public transport can be okay. David, folks, I'm really sorry because I'm looking at the screen here. It's not updating, but the phone is going pretty quick. So let me see. Okay, David, using public transport can be an issue at the moment. But if you can walk or cycle to shoot and keep to yourself, then no problem. Yeah, it's a strange one because I don't know. Would I sit in a bus? I don't think I would. Like, you know what I mean? Because everybody's sitting coughing and spluttering. I'm a wee bit of a about the germs aspect anyway. But sitting in a bus with somebody coughing, I'll probably hold back on it. Just made a note for your Father Brown book. Just love the old photographs and what they represent to you. Yeah, definitely. Man, listen. There's loads of them. There's another one. You know, I think he's got about 10 books out. Obviously, the Jesuit priests have put it. But this guy here is phenomenal. Just going to touch on, I'm not going to get into too many about the books, but what about this? Vivian Meyer. What an amazing story, but an amazing photographer. And I'm going to put this out, tell you a wee bit of a question, okay? You choose what you do with your photographs. I like sharing the photographs because, and it's not ego, don't get me wrong, it's nice if somebody says, oh, I like that photograph, okay? But I share the content that I like. I take the photographs that I like. But I like sharing content, especially about the people in the areas or what I'm seeing. And sometimes I don't even share a photograph for about 5 years or 10 years. That way the person has aged in it. But basically, I choose to do it. And sadly, so many people in the photographs I've taken from 1986 up until, well, in fact, last year, sadly, we lost a young lad, was this year, in fact, January. In fact, I took a photograph, and I think it was October of 2019, of a young lad with his child, was walking up. I was with Jim Leonard, a photographer from Dublin. And basically, we were just taking it down through a town, and this guy was walking up with his child, and he was so proud. He was sitting carrying his child, and the wee child was sitting holding his ears, pulling his ears out like that there. And I said, do you mind if I get a photograph? And he, oh, no problem. What do you want, man? I took a couple of photographs. That was in October. January of this year, the young lad passed over. The young lad, the father. He was only 20, in his early 20s. And he passed over at his own hand, to suicide. And sadly, there were so many cases of that in photographs. So I really want to document the areas, not to, in case somebody dies, but if I see a couple together or a family, I love taking the photographs because when they get older, there's no photographs of me and my ma together. My ma, as I mentioned before, died when I was 5. You know what I mean? There's no photographs of me, and I wish there was one. And I wish I was able to take a photograph, but I can't. So maybe that's a reason why I love photographing people. But it's my choice to put it onto social media, and it's your choice to decide what to do with it or not. Now, back to Vivian. She never really shared any of her work. I think she done some photographs in Europe, but she kept them all private, and apparently she was a very private person. I'm not going to get into her character, but at the end of the day, her photographs is private, and I wonder what she would think of everybody looking at her work. Is that an invasion of her privacy? Like Gary Winogrand, he died with hundreds, maybe thousands of films that have yet to be developed. Wonder what's on them. But Vivian, so what's your thoughts? If should have been published or not? My father died when I was 2, no photos either. What I would do for one? Wally, was that the camera and all, man? Fuck's sake. Okay, just going back up with these photographs here. Okay, Andrew, getting out with the camera is important. Sorry about that. Did you hear that? Was that on the phone there? I heard a noise somewhere. Where's that coming from? Okay, let's see. Andrew, getting out with the camera is important for our mental health. I've been working from home, sat on a computer most of the day, so photography is an escape. Definitely, 100%. We need to look after the mindset. You know what I mean? And if your bag is getting photographs, then you have to take photographs, because if you take a photography away, you're taking the oxygen away. So it's very, very important that we do what we can do. So yes, definitely get out, look after your health, man. Create a change. And if for toxic, you don't like taking street portraits, or you don't like taking a certain type of photograph, or you can't get taken a certain type of photograph because of the lockdown or because of the social distancing, then shoot something different. Challenge yourself. Go out and maybe document architecture of the area. Say, well, today I'm going to go out to my local town, local city, and I'm going to start documenting all the buildings and keep a good record of them. Or I'm going to start documenting the clothes. I'm going to start documenting X, Y, Z, and do something, because get them creative juices going. Because when you're focusing on the pleasure, you're not focusing on the negativity and the negative. So yeah, definitely. Ian just made a note of Father Brown. Okay, I read that one. I agree, David. I love Evan Meyer too. Is it Meyer or Mayer, I wonder? Okay, thank you, Ian. Saw the photo and read the story. Remember, so looking forward to normality resume, as if normality ever actually existed in Belfast. Well, it was our normality. wasn't it? And we're coming a long way away from the old crazy days, I have to say. And I love being home again. But yeah, I think Belfast is a unique city. And I think the people are amazing. And we've got a few head to balls, there's no question about that on both sides. But sure, it hasn't everywhere. So what we're doing is that, I think we call it as it is. In other words, if you've got a problem with somebody, we'll say it. And you know what I mean? We're straight to the point. There's no bullshitting about. But I think we're good people. I think we'll help anybody. And I love the city and I love the people. Obviously, I don't love the rockets. The rockets as in the rockets, crazy horses. But basically, I love being home again. Yeah, our normality was different. So that, you see, I photograph my family more than I do myself these days, and they never share anywhere. I sometimes send some to family, but never upload to Twitter, Flickr, and Facebook. Okay, that's very, very interesting. You're going through a new section of road, and it's great you're still documenting it. Archive them. You never know what's around the corner. Anto Taylor, love your photos. Anto, I really appreciate it. Liverpool supporter. I used to support Liverpool years ago. Up until about 1978. You win all the European Cups and all that. Alan Hughes and Kenny Dalglish and Steve Highway and all the crew, you know what I mean? Yeah, with Jimmy Case. I met a Liverpool supporter the other day. If you're on my Facebook page, I met a Liverpool supporter walking up Castle Street and he had all the scars and all on red. Took a couple of photographs of him. Like I say, Paul Greenby, Sean, do you use a zoom or wide angle for street photography? Okay. It varies. I'm still using the Nikon D3300. I've got 18 till 140, just shows you how much I know. So I've got the 18 to 140, usually on it. Okay, but for about a month and a half, all I was shooting was the 35 mil 1.8, but basically it was equivalent to a 50 mil, so standard. So swings and roundabouts. The zoom I've only really used for my architecture, detail shots, and with COVID-19, if something happens and that's too far away, I would use it. Most times it'll probably be wide or my 35 mil, which is the standard. So that's what I would do there. So the old film days, the old film cameras was always around about the 28, 24, 35 mil. So mainly always primed. Of course, everybody had the 35 to 70 one. But as I say, with the crop sensor and that, was a beautiful gift from an amazing guy. Treasure that lens there. So let me see. Need to be seen. Okay, it's just a shame it wasn't her lifetime. Okay, I think she probably would have went ballistic if it had been. Vivian Meyer, we're talking about, if you're reading the comments. Anto Taylor from Andytown, love your photographs, West Belfast. Can you help with some advice? Anto, ask away, brother. 100%, man. The Andytown, lived in Andytown for a bit. I'm originally from down the Grosvenor. And I lived up in Andy, lived all over the place, like a traveller. Lived in Ivy for a bit, lived up in Andytown. Lived in Ladybrook. I lived in, where else did I live? Polglass. Finnegan. All over the place, buddy. I'm down the road now, down the bottom, the lower whack. So, Wee Bad Wolf, absolutely, Sean. Love this city. Warm and wonderful folks, generally. Well done, absolutely. Andrew Walt, nothing wrong with Nikon D30. That's my best camera. Happy days, brother. No camera snobs here. I've had a load of cameras. To me, they're an extension of us. They're a tool. Is one camera going to be better than another one? Well, 100%. You know what I mean? There's going to be no dispute. Like if somebody come up to me and says, "Here, do you want this Leica digital? What is it? An MA? I don't even know the name. I don't even keep updated now with the makes now, or the models, I should say. But somebody come up and said, "Here, do you want a Leica and a 18 1.8 lens or something like that?" And I go, "No, I'm going to stick with my Nikon D3300. You know what I mean? I'm at 35 1.8. You keep your Leica camera." Well, of course I would take the camera. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter what the camera is. Well, that's wrong. I have to rephrase that. Of course it matters what the camera is, because say if you're wanting to get like low light photography and you've got a bad camera, a lot of noise and things like that, or your lenses thing, so of course the camera plays a part. But here's the thing, I have seen, and I'm not judging people, but I'm just going to give you an example. I've seen people with cameras, with the lenses that cost thousands of pounds, thousands of dollars, top of the range cameras, and I have to be careful they don't come across like, because nobody has a right to really judge somebody else's photograph. But I do say to myself that, would we know that them photographs were taken with that if they didn't point out every time they put a photograph up? You know what I mean? Like name dropping. Oh, I've got a Nikon, I've got a Sony, I've got a, Canon such and such, 1.8 lens. I even mentioned a 35 1.8. Maybe I was like a wee bit of the, worried about, no, they can't do 3300. But basically it doesn't matter. Like, unless people were letting you know, would you really know what the camera is? And more importantly, does it matter? John Bulletin, that I mentioned earlier, the friend documentary photographer, amazing work. If you're not familiar with John, check out his video. As a serious guys, this guy here is like top drawer. Like, this guy is an amazing photographer, but such a genuine person. I've interviewed him December of last year. Check him out. But we were talking about gear, and he says that, like it's like an insult for somebody to say, you put a photograph up and somebody doesn't comment on the photograph, but says, you must have a good camera, And John actually said, I'm going to use this here phrase. He turned and he said it'd be like equivalent to going to somebody's home or a restaurant and tasting a really delicious meal. Absolutely fantastic, the best meal you've ever tasted. And then you turn around and say to the chef, wow, that was amazing. That's such a beautiful meal. You must have a good cooker, a good oven, a good stove. You know what I mean? Think about it. You know what I mean? We're the one who's creating the photographs. And if you're not, and you're just taking snapshots, then your photographs are just going to be snapshots. You'll still be a photographer. But basically, camera gear is not that, in my book, I would love to have new gear. I'm not going to lie, because I've had that like 5 years, and I think it's on its way out. But it'll do me until it's ready to go on till a different life. I have to go walk a sheep though. Take care, Sean. Lexi, we'll message you, of course. Stay safe. Stay safe too, darling. And I say, give us a shout, okay? David Lewis, we shot film for ages and printed on paper. Then digital came in. Thinking of the future and how fast times and methods change, do you think that the way we save now will be viewable in the future? I think that it's a very good point. My concern would be the images that are stored in the cloud, okay? That we haven't got another physical copy of the images. I think if we're relying on the cloud, I would be very, very wary of it. Reference the machines to read the negatives or to read the images. I think the technology will always be there to read it. I think the only problem I've got is that people aren't really backing up their images, and they're on their computers. And if the computer crashes, then you've lost it. And you know what I mean? And more importantly, backing them up. I can't see that it'll stop. I think we're always going to have the technology or to read them. You know what I mean? If we still have the technology now to play VHS video recorders or Betamax video recorders, then I don't see a problem with the digital. Only that if people are trusting the cloud to keep the photographs up there, or they're not backing up their images twice. Okay, so in other words, obviously you've got them on your computer. That's not even backed up. That's just taken off the card. Portable hard drive, back them up, but get a second portable hard drive, back them up. And I would possibly even go down, and I don't do this, I used to do it, have the second copy somewhere else. So in other words, at your home, you could have your portable hard drive, and then at somebody else's home, you have a filled portable hard drive too, in an envelope, safe. God forbid anything happened, and let's say we're talking, no, what even, you know what I'm talking about, if it was a fire or something like that, or somebody broke in and stole your images. Yeah, so I would do that. David, I change cameras more than my socks. Um, I'll tell you one thing, man. When you ever get out taking street photography, you better be changing your socks. I'm not worried about what camera you're wearing around your neck, but I'll be worried about what socks you're wearing. Okay, and just go back up here. David Lewis, got phone for you, printed paper. Okay. Joe Carey. Hey, Joe, how are you? It wasn't until I left Belfast I saw its beauty. All the Art Deco buildings and the fantastic architecture. As soon as you look up, anyway, do you have a preference to RAW or JPEG? RAW. Shooting on my phone, there's no RAW option on RAW. I'm not going to do Frono's photo. I shoot RAW. No, it's not about that. RAW. I just think that, it's handier, and I do think you can get more detail is going to be retained, and you can tweak it. So me RAW. That's what I would do. RAW. Yeah. JPEG's just compressed, so definitely RAW would be. Square large. In the right hands, modern smartphones can take amazing photographs. Absolutely. No question about it. No question about it. I'm not one of these ones here, but I would love to have one of the modern phones. I've got, what's that shooting on? I have that 3 years, and it was a phone from my nephew, Kieran, my sister Rosemary's young lad. What is it? Samsung S5. S5. Fucking screen and all's cracked like. I still take photographs. I think it's amazing technology. When I walked away from my old life and I was suffering from depression and suicidal thoughts and all that jazz, that lasted for about 6 years. Then, I became a holistic therapist, and I still had no interest in photography. So photography had disappeared from me. And, when I got back into it again, the technology had, skyrocketed. I was going from it's like 10 years, 12 years, nearly 14 years without a proper camera. So when I started getting the cameras, to me it was like that. So the phones are phenomenal. No question about it. I would probably even go as far as to say I would see it. And by the way, in case you've just joined me, when I was talking to my sister Rosemary there, Rosemary's young lad Peter interviewed me in '86. He was doing A levels or something like that. And he interviewed me about where I'd see photography going. And I mentioned then in '86, I said there's going to be a time that, video cameras, you're going to get, the quality is going to be so good, you're going to be able to get stills from them. And you'll see wedding photographers all using video cameras and taking stills and things like that. So phones, man, I would shoot a phone. If I had a good quality phone, I would probably challenge myself for a year with it, honestly. So if any of you big phone companies is out there and you want to sponsor me and give me a camera, a phone camera, I will take it on for a year. David, I can change cameras more exact, and it's a 6 inches behind the camera. Any camera will do. I like that, definitely. Definitely. You bought Wolf, lovely oven analogy. Might steal it. You steal it, I've stole it already. I'm telling everybody it's mine. We're talking about John Bullen's thing about the oven. Yeah, I'm letting on. Sean, Andrew Taylor. Sean, did you ever work in Belfast Exposed? I did. I got involved with Belfast Exposed. Belfast Exposed is a community photography group here in Belfast, for those of you who don't know. Started in 1983 with Sean McKernan, a friend of mine we're in the same secondary school, and Donny Burke, which was a geography teacher of mine, also in St. Peter's Secondary School. And they started a community photography group in 1983. And they wanted to show real Belfast, so people started sending me 6x4 photographs. I joined them in '86. Once again, my sister Rosemary seen an advert up in a shop in Ladybrook and said, "Are you unemployed in welfare? Interested in photography? You would like to learn photography? We would supply you with film and cameras, contact." So I got Rosemary to ring them up. I think it was Chris Lees from Riverdale at the time. And of course, they then supplied me with a camera and also supplied me the camera, film, taught me the ropes. And then I got a job in it in the darkroom, and I stayed with them for over a year. So it was probably 2 years in total. In that time, I started freelancing with the Andy Town News and getting photographs in the other papers. But yes, I did. Still in contact with Sean McKernan. So yeah, Belfast Exposed. Here we go. Gary Murphy, I tend to rush shots. How can I slow down and not try to run off quickly? Gary, are you talking about with people in them, or are you talking about in general? Okay, Gary Murphy, I tend to rush shots. How can I slow down and not try to run off quickly? Okay, so let me know, are you talking about people, or are you talking about just regular? Not seen the photos of Shirley Baker, and they're well worth a look. I'm going to write that down. Thank you, Tim. Guys, Tim's just saying, or you might have already seen it, Shirley Baker. Okay, I'm going to check her out. I may know her work, just may not know her name. It's worth a look. I keep them on the PC and 2 other drives after I nearly lost one drive. Andrew, yeah, brilliant man. David Lewis, laugh out loud. Raw all the way. If you use a built-in effects and camera, then shoot RAW and JPEG. I don't think the Nikon D3300 has that option for the 2 of them. I'm almost certain it doesn't. I only shoot in manual. I have really no idea with the settings, but basically I don't think, if I remember rightly, I don't think it has a RAW and JPEG. Okay, it might have. Hold on. I have to turn and say what way to do it. Do you know what? I'm not going to tell lies, guys. I've got the camera here, and I was going to let on, I was going to just jump in there and see. I'll be able to put the finger on the settings. I don't really use a menu setting. I just keep it manual, but I don't think it does. But do you edit in Lightroom, and how good are you at editing? Let me see. Gary Murphy, do you edit in Lightroom, and or how good are you at editing? Well, I have to say, I'll leave you to decide about the editing aspect of it. I find that that monitor wears calibrated. So if I edit in that, I usually get the range okay, I think so. I'm pretty basic at it, I have a wee routine to do it. And in fact, I've done a video about 2 years back, and I don't do it that way no more, but I just sort of fly through it. I've got a few presets that I would, I've made up myself because of different lighting conditions. My favorite one at the minute is a Berlin one because the lighting was pretty good. And basically when I take a photograph and I look at it on the screen, I can sort of tell which preset that I'm going to be using. So I would use that. I'm pretty quick at it, I have to say, but I'm sure there's 101 things that it can do that I don't know, and I may be doing 101 things wrong. Well, not the proper way, self-taught. I have, what do you call that? Let me just see what you call. Okay, 1 second. So I'm just looking at the screen here. Can't even remember the name of it. There was a Google software. See me, guys, I'm not joking when I say it. I don't particularly take on board all this stuff. But basically there was Google Pixel or something like that. Not Google, that's a camera. They had it like a free run off like filters and editing. You get color, black and white and all that business. And for a period of time they had it free. I shared it on my channel. I still have it on there, so I would use that there for the black and white Silver Effects Pro. But yeah, that's it. Lower it down. So I don't know. I think I'm okay. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Photoshop's a different ball game. Like, I'm not great at Photoshop. Okay. David Lewis, the London calendar from Street People proves you don't need the best gear. Absolutely, 100%. Cafe. What do you call them? Something cafe. Okay, so what David's talking, who was he? Yeah, David was talking about cafe. What the hell do you call them? David, drop a message. What it is? Cafe something. It's an organisation who's supplying cameras to homeless people, disposable cameras, and they do a calendar every year. And the photography is phenomenal. I've got different calendars in there. But basically, yeah, absolutely. It's all about the the mind, what we're doing. Okay, okay, Gary, people in them. Okay, so Gary asked earlier on there, I tend to rush shots. How can I slow down and not to try to run off quickly? I was just asking him, was it people or just in general? So it's people in them. Right. I was going to talk about this, but there's a video about getting confidence on a couple of videos back there. But this will fall into line why you're feeling the way you're feeling. What are you running away for? You're not stealing their money. Like, you're not, fucking grabbing their phone and bolting up the street, getting out of it. So what I would say, tell you to do is ask yourself, why are you taking street photographs in the first place? And it sounds simplistic, but in reality, that's it. Ask yourself, why am I taking street photographs? Now, by the way, I'm going to keep an eye on this. I don't know if you can keep talking. This is 55 minutes, this video. I can talk for hours, like. So I'm just wondering, does it cut off at 59 minutes or does it go on over the hour? If it cuts off, we'll start it again. We'll put up another one. But like a Ken Dodd concert, he talked about 9 hours, 10 hours. This will probably be a David Icke podcast here. It's going to be like about 10 hours talking about photography. Yeah, so it sounds simplistic. Ask yourself, why are you taking photographs in the first place? So you're a street photographer, why are you taking the photographs for? And once you know that, then that's your story. And know your story. So if somebody happens to say, hey boy, did you take my photograph? You say, yes, I am. Whatever you decide you are. Why you're taking photographs. Like, if it happens to me, I just turn and say, your man goes, hey boy, you take my fucking photograph for? I said, did buddy, how are you? Because I was confident as that. I said, did buddy, I said, look, I'm a street photographer here from Belfast. I'm taking photographs and documenting changing face of Belfast for the past 30 odd years. Just seen you standing there, you look absolutely fantastic. Just looking at the mural. Your man's listening to this at the moment. So I've identified who I am. I've let him know what I'm taking. I didn't start bumbling about. He goes, hey boy, do you take my fucking photograph? And I go, yeah. What do you take my photograph for? What did you take my photograph for? I don't know. He'll think you're at the lark. He'll think you're snooping on him or you're perv or anything like that. So first thing I'd say is get your story. If you happen to be a photography student, how you doing, man? Listen, I'm a photography student in local college. I'm just taking photographs. I just answer why. Don't bullshit them. Answer why you're taking that photograph. Or, hey man, listen, I've been documenting the streets. I've just started a project here. I think that the city's changing. And I'm just trying to document the way of life so future generations can look at it. I just like the way you're dressed, or hey man, listen, I like your clothes, I just like the way. So realize why you're taking a photograph. That would be the first thing. The second thing I would say to you to do is to get a business card or some sort of social media presence so that if they turn and say, what are you taking my photographs? If you say, I'm just keeping them, what are you doing with a photograph? I keep them on the computer. They'll go, why? What are you keeping my photograph on the computer for? So get somewhere to put the photographs up, And honestly, that's half the battle over. But how do you get the confidence to do this? I would say, tell you two things. In your local area, I'm sure people know you. Okay? Maybe your neighbours, maybe your family, maybe the local shopkeeper. Photograph them. And for two reasons. One, you're documenting your local area for future generations to look back on. Okay, so it's a bit of an interest. Secondly, you're honing your skills with your camera, and you're also honing your skills with the old patter, the old talk. Do you know what I mean? And as I say, I can repeat this exactly as I would say of Joe Blogs. If I walk up and I want a street portrait of someone and it's a bit dodgy of an area or the photograph's just a wee bit risky, that prefer a proper pose photograph, I'd walk up and this is what I would say to them. How you doing? Listen, I'm a street photographer here, rambles with my camera. I've been documenting the streets here in Belfast for 33 years. And I just seen you standing there. I'm just loving the way in the background you've got this. And I would love to take your portrait. At that, their process and what I'm saying, this is what I hit them with in next. I said, listen, I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube. And if you drop me a wee message, I'll send you a complimentary photograph. It'll just be something good to look back on. I should have been documenting it here. And then 9 out of 10 times, people would say, no problem. So practice, let's see. definitely. Next thing, as I say to you, that know your camera. Know your camera settings. You're not doing anything wrong. If you feel that you're out taking street photographs and you're doing something wrong, you're going onto the street with the wrong mindset. So what I would say to you is genuinely, just looking down, know your camera, know why you're there, get your story straight, get a social media presence. If you have a business card, hand them a business card, say drop a message. Second nature. Look out for, well, I know we're all locked down at the minute, but look out for festivals, street fairs, parties, different places like that. Because when they love to be photographed, they have no problem with it. Do you know what I mean? And just walk up and say, how you doing? Can I get a photo? Oh yeah, please take a photograph of me. Yes, no problem. If there's any affairs and parties and things like that, no problem. So that's what I would say, tell you to do, brother. I hope that's answered your question, Gary. It's okay. On to Taylor. Yes, Sean, I worked down below when it was in King Street. That's right, okay. I worked in the locksmiths below it. I think I recognise you. Yeah, I used to go in there occasionally, Anto. Yeah, definitely. And I had the wee cafe as well down below as well, didn't I? Yeah, I did indeed. So, Wally, Tice Martha is definitely worth checking out. Okay. There's another name for us, guys. Tice Martha. Thank you so much, guys, for your recommendations, by the way, about of things of other photographers. Kevin Day, what do you think of not looking at your photos for 6 months or a year before picking the ones you like? What a fantastic idea. Wow. That's an interesting. Kevin, I can write that down, man. That's amazing. That's a very good. I don't know. I know film shooters would say that. I think Eric Kim talked about that. He likes to keep his films for a couple of years before he looks at them. I was going to say something there, but I'm not going to bother. By the way, I've got great respect for Eric Kim. I think he's a lovely person. Well, I remember his old school stories and words and copy and things like that. I think he's got a great mind on him. I think possibly I haven't checked in on him in the past year and a half. I had to stop following him. And by the way, there's no hate in this here. I just want to clarify why I give the eyes whenever I was talking about Eric Kim. But he did say that he doesn't develop his films and he shoots like 50 rolls of films. He doesn't bother developing it for a year and all that. You know, I go, okay. But as I say, I think he's a good person. I don't follow him no more. I just think he's lost his way with the money aspect of it. He's gone from being this Zen photographer till, I don't know, but as I say, I haven't been there in a year and a half. It's wrong to judge him. Shouldn't be doing that, but I'm sending him love and positive vibes. Andre, let me see. Andre Walton, I'm not sure if you've seen the work of Tice Martha. She shoots photos of Tyneside in the early 80s. Probably a good comparison to your own work of the 80s. That's interesting. No, it's okay. So Wally, it's just be interesting to see. I'm not familiar with Tice Martha, so Wally, W7, and Andrew both giving it a thumbs up. Andrew, you're Geordie, aren't you? Is that right to call you Geordie? Yeah. I live with a guy, Diggs, St Albans, was a Geordie. I love the accent. Called him Red. His name is Redman. They called him Red. Going to get sidetracked here a wee bit, but basically, Red was, he had the Newcastle Brownie. He had the tattoo on his thing. Lovely guy. But he was telling me the difference between a canny lad. But anyway, that's a side issue. Okay. Tyneside. I'll check it out. Tice Martha is another one to look at. Okay, so there you go. All you are going here. Tice. Okay, Tice is getting ×3. Thank you all so much for this here. Okay, so I see somebody's going there. Okay, timeless, must go some. Great to see you here. Great life. All the best. Thank you, buddy, and I appreciate it. And if you ever see us in town or whatever, give us a shout. And sorry to hear about your dad. And yeah, get yourself a wee camera sorted out. Okay, not a Geordie, but not far away. Okay, but you know what that's like? People say to me, what part of Liverpool you're from? You hear my accent. I go to the Belfast part. So my apologies if it's an insult for me to say, tell you. Let's see. Okay, Else with Kids is a book to check out. I spoke to her brother about kids and it now grown up. Else with Kids, okay. I'll check out these here afterwards. I'm writing these down as if this is going to disappear. I hope this doesn't disappear. David Sailors, good afternoon, Sean. Glad I caught your stream. Going to do a little street in Chattanooga, Tennessee right now. You're an inspiration. Chattanooga. What a fantastic name. And thank you so much for your kind words, David. I would really, really appreciate that. Wow. So Tennessee, what would you be, about 7 hours behind? Maybe. Listen, send you love, brother. Across the pond. Hope you get a wee shot and document it. Chattanooga. Chattanooga Choo Choo. I think we talked about your wee street. You took us round. The place was like a ghost town, if I remember rightly. I see, just going to go back up these names again. How people don't mind some cameras, okay. It was taking a candidate in the Fountain Street and the subject gurned. I did delete it and pointed out that literally above me was one of Belfast all-seeing cameras eyes. Okay, so wee bad Wolf was saying there about taking a candid photograph in the Belfast here beside us. And the subject gurned, like in other words, moaned about it. You delete it and pointed it. I've only ever deleted 2 photographs, well, 3 photographs at one time and one other time. And I'm going to tell you a wee story about this, not too far away from what you were saying about the fountain centre. I was down there along the street and there was this girl coming up and she was probably about maybe 18, 19. Youthful style, young style, but she was 2 old women was walking alongside her, which weren't with her. And in the window, I think the shop was called Zara. There was mannequins, and all I could see was the 2 old women, the young girls. You had the contrast right away with their style and the mannequins. Fucking great shot. Camera straight up. Pop, 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 pop. And at that, she came up to me, and I says, she's now coming up alongside me. And I always say, thank you so much, because she was looking and said, do you take my photograph? I said it did. I said, how you doing? I'm a street photographer. Going on, I fucking take my... If you don't like bad language, cover your ears for a second. You fucking take my photograph. Oh, the sky went blue. This girl went ballistic. Everybody stopped in the street. This is in the city centre. She starts fucking screaming, you fucking pervert, taking my photograph, taking my photo. I said, hold on 1 second. I said, I'm a street, never got more words out. I said, look, there's my business card. Street photographer, 33 years. I don't get a fucking there. You're not going to take my phone. Oh my God, he took, fuck, she went ballistic. Honestly. At this guy who's sitting on the seats shouts over, oh, get the cops. He shouts, get the cops. I went, at the car. I said, hold on, you delete them fucking photographs. I said, hold on, stop. She started calling me a pervert. I said, hold on 1 second. I said, be very careful what you're accusing me of here. I've already told you who I am, street photographer. I said, don't be calling me that, because I'm not. And fucking telling you guys, people stopped in the street. It was like, I'm sure people was live streaming it. And she says, do you delete them now? You've no... I said, well, I have got it right. And I said, and see now that you're calling me that, I'm fucking deleting nothing. I said, I'm deleting nothing. Get the cops. This guy stopped and said, what's happening? This other guy says, your mom's fucking pervert. He takes a photograph. Well, guys, listen, I've been documenting the streets, as I say, for 30 odd years. I've never, ever, and like I've been beaten up by the police and everything in years in the crazy days, and beaten up by the guys with woolly faces. I have never experienced any abuse like that from anybody. That wee girl's mouth was foul. And irrespective of how she perceived it, like she went ballistic. So I said, right, I said, get the cops. I said, because I'm not breaking any laws whatsoever. The cops came, fucking machine guns and all that. Everybody has stopping. I think it was even a tour bus must have stopped because these people just appeared out of nowhere and they're all fucking with their phones. I'm standing there. She's going, I want him to delete these photographs. And of course, I said to the cop, first and foremost, try to give the card, street photographer, blah, 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 blah. She's giving it that, said me, here's a police officer. I have it on video, by the way. I had the wee GoPro and pop off my Nikon D30. This is all recorded, still recorded. Everything, from the start to the fucking finish. Here's a cop told her, excuse me 1 second. Stop calling him that. He's identified who he is and what he's doing. But he's no right to take, and the police officer says he has every right to take your photograph here, and he's every right to take my photograph here, and you have every right to take his photographs in a public place. Do not talk to him like that. So of course, cut long story short, the wee girl went over. She was getting hyper. The other police officer stayed with her. The cop talked to me, and he said, look, mum, would you just delete it? And I said, well, to tell you the truth, I was going to fucking delete it. But I'm only going to delete it if she apologises. And I said, it's as simple as that. She needs to apologise. And he goes over, talks to her, and she's going, I want this deleted, I want this deleted. I just thought about it, and I said, you know what, this is not worth the hassle. So I took 3 photographs. I deleted the 3 photographs. Okay? Within moments of me deleting the photographs, the girl's boyfriend came down the street. He fucking punches me in the back. Cops and all then start grabbing him. He's shouting, hey, you fucking pervert, photographing my girl. And then everybody stopped. A junkie grabs me. I'm not saying a junkie, but Johnny was strung out. Grabbed the camera off my shoulder and tried to pull it away. Of course, I got the camera, and I don't know how it happened, but I ended up with his coat in my hand and the camera. The coat came right off him. Cops then turned around. I hope I'm not boring you for this, but this is about deleting photographs. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get that point shortly. But basically, I said to the guy, the boyfriend said, you're not allowed to take my fucking photograph. You're not allowed to take my photograph or her photograph. I said, is that right? I was now pissed off at this stage because everybody was around. I pulled the camera up. I fired off shots. I photographed him again. And I said, I fucking can't photograph you. And I said, I'll tell you one thing. I've deleted the other photographs. See them? I said, they're on my Facebook page. I never did. But here's the story. The cop then comes over to me, and he went from being Mr. Nice Guy to Mr. Bad Guy, and he just turned around and he said, right, don't you be walking back down this way again. And I said, well, hold on 1 wee second. I said, what do you mean, don't come back down this way? Oh, you can't take photographs, I'll arrest you. And I said, you'll arrest me for what? Well, for disorderly behaviour. And I turned around and said, you catch yourself on. I said, well, listen, let me tell you something. I said, you're not going to stop me walking anywhere around this town. And I said, it's as simple as that. And from that moment, I said to myself, I will never delete another photograph ever again. And I'm serious about when I say that. And I would never, ever delete a photograph. You know. And another time I deleted a photograph was a woman. She was sitting outside her house, and her kids were sitting playing. It was no Belfast Street. I took her photographs, and I walked over, told her, showed her the photograph. I said, no, please delete them. What you have to remember though, sometimes kids could be under social services, and they don't want to be seen. So it's important to not just willy-nilly put the photograph. She said, oh no, please delete them. I said, not a problem. I said, look at the photographs. I said, they're amazing. And it was a beautiful photograph. I said, no. I said, there you go. And I deleted them. And cut a long story short, I gave her my card. She emailed me in the Facebook page, or private messaged me on the Facebook page, probably about 2 hours later. Here, second thoughts, go ahead, because you went and seen the Facebook page with all the photographs. And she said, second thoughts, go ahead and you could use the photographs. And I went, love, they're deleted. So that was the times I've deleted. There you go. There's a big story for you. Okay, great story, Wally. Okay, currently 3 p.m. Wow. David, that's nice lighting, brother. You go and get some photographs. Let's see. Austin, hey bro, how you? Euphemia, Austin, that's a beautiful name. Okay, well, great story, loving it. Geez, what palaver, and tell me about it. Fucking, I showed my girl, I said never again. But I've got it in video. I'll tell you what I did do. If you go onto my Facebook page and go back, when was that? 2017. No, don't bother. Like, but if you go down till it, there's a photograph of him pixelized and her pixelized, and I wrote the report of what happened. And basically, why I did that was I was letting them know if they try to accuse me of anything, it's all on fucking camera, and I'll publish that video, and I've still got that video of the whole shebang. Like, so, keep yourself safe. Okay, what a player. We'd love to see the video. Not going to Treehab. I will only use that video if, for talk's sake, anything ever happened in the future. And that's as simple as that. I may pixelate the faces to show how something can quickly escalate. You know, maybe it's a good point. Maybe I'll let you know. Welcome to your therapy, Sean. That's fantastic. Well done, you. Here we go. I'm just going to check these here wee messages here. They come up. They keep disappearing on the chat. Okay, guys, listen, I don't know. Do you want to keep talking here or to wrap up? It's entirely up to you. I can continue on talking. I just don't want to be hogging you. What's your therapy, Sean? So, let me know if you want me to keep talking. If you don't, we'll wrap up and we'll do it again. Okay. So you all get the fucking sleeping bags ready. What time is it now? It's 8:15. Guys, listen, I want to appreciate every single one of you taking time out to watch these videos and supporting the channel. And I see it, we've got a great big community here, we've got good people. I honestly, like, it's, to me, I've never want to lose that vibe. I think I've said from the word go, what you see on camera is what you'll see in the real life. Like, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, I'll comb my hair sometimes, but sometimes I don't. But I have no time to bullshit. I just think that there's just too much of that on TV. I just think genuinely just be yourself. And if I leave you a tip for tonight, for your photography, take the photographs that you like to take, okay? Don't give your power away to me or Joe Blogs or the camera clubs or the likes or the subscribers, don't take us the wrong way, or the followers. Photograph what you like. And if you like to photograph a particular way and the camera clubs or somebody else says that's not the right way to take a photograph, tell them to take a run and jump. And you know, from day one, now don't get me wrong, if somebody's paying you money to take a photograph, he who pays a fiddler calls a tune. If you're being paid to do a job and they want you to do it a certain way, then by all means do it that way. But take your photographs that you like to take, print them the way you want to print, share them the way you want to share. You decide not to share, that's fine. But when you start taking photographs, hoping, or even if you've got, you know, a couple of these guys have got YouTube channels, if you start sharing content, whether it be photographs or video, simply to get likes or to get new subscribers or to keep, you know, to build up this persona that, you know, X, Y, and Z, I think, I can't see it lasting, you know. Why I love photography now, and it's because it's my love, it's my passion, and I photograph what I want. And guys, I know, I even look through some of my old photographs, I go, Sean, what are you doing? Photographs are shit, man. Seriously? They are. Because basically, I'd rather go back, and I've said this in many videos, if I'm out and about, and I'd see a couple of photographs, especially with digital now, I would rather be going back home with 20 shit photographs that I've taken that didn't work than go home and sit and say, I wish I had took those photographs. You know? And every single photograph that I put up because I like it. Sometimes I even love it. And the point is that because I do that, I don't need validation from anybody. Now, I want to make this very, very clear. I appreciate every single one of you who's given me lovely feedback, and you know, that's lovely. I love your photo. Of course, be a fool not to love to soak up that positivity. But the question is although I would love it, I don't need it. And I think that's a problem. There's so many people out taking photographs, needing the likes. And if you're starting to look at the subscribers, oh, I've only got X, or looking at the likes, why didn't nobody like it? You have to look on the positives just like the negative and say, excuse the pun, the negative. Look on the positive comments just like the negative comments. They're people's opinions. Some people's going to like you. Some people's going to think you're shit. And I know people think my photographs are shit. I'll tell you a story. I got a video up. I can't remember what it was, but basically I put a video up and a couple of years back there. And I can't remember what it was. I'll try to dig it out and maybe put screenshots up on it. People were saying it's a wonderful photograph. Oh, I love that photograph. Oh, your photography is brilliant. And I have to say, I let the ego get the better of me. Because the fucking head started getting bigger. And I would go, wow, I'm genuinely grateful for it. But out of the blue, this comment turned around and said, I have to say, I'm paraphrasing, I have to say, these are the worst photographs that I have ever was in capital letters, ever seen. Your photography's shit. And I went, fucking hell. Okay, the big head just started getting smaller. And I went, well, why did I handle this? Like, I'd never seen the name before. And I remembered my own, ethos, like, is that person's opinion? He or she is entitled to say that my photographs are shit. And, what I do, I stopped taking photographs because of that. And basically, he or she, I just replied, I said, I've never, ever, all capital letters, ever seen anything. You have to be the worst, something like that. And I went, okay. Thought maybe it was an axe or something like that. Don't write the comment. I went, okay, you. And I wrote, hi, thank you so much. Capital letters, so much. I have never won anything in my life. So to come first place in the shittiest photographer that you've ever seen, I'm actually flattered. Thank you so much. Love heart. Kiss, kiss, kiss. Sean. I've never seen him again. And it's a thing that I just now look on, I go, do you know what? I take my photographs the way I take them. And I don't try to copy other people. Maybe in the subconscious mind, that you retain some information, styles and things like that from other people, but I don't. I look at other photographers and go, fuck, I love that theme that they're taking. Oh, I like the way that, and then you happen to trip over the same shot or similar shot and take it. So that's what I say. Take your photographs for you. If you've got a YouTube channel, be prepared for all the love. Be prepared for the negativity too. And there's a video on YouTube, and if you search this out, if any of you got these guys have got YouTube, how you deal with hate, and those who haven't got YouTube and getting hate on your photographs, etc., or hate in general. Okay, this is the way I look at this. There's a video on YouTube, and if you look at it, it's something like, "My baby hears me for the very first time and almost cries." Okay, and this is a wee baby, and it's like a viral video, like there's millions of views on it. Oh. That's a phone there going. I had a wee message. Heidi, hi. I don't know if you heard that or not. But basically, the video turned around and wee baby, like 3 months old, with a pair of hearing aids in. I wear hearing aids. The kid was sitting, and the mommy says, I love you. And the wee baby started hearing the mommy for the first time. And it was something like, I don't know, 70,000 likes or something like that. But here's the thing. There's something like 15,000 dislikes. 15,000? Like, what? Let's see if I can find it. I don't know if I can find it now. 15,000 dislikes? Why would anybody dislike a video of a wee baby hearing its mommy talk for the very first time? What can we hear aids and like, wee baby's bottom lip and always going. So, if somebody happens to say, Sean, your photographs are shit, I think about that wee baby with the fucking hearing aids, and I go, do I really let his opinion or her opinion really matter? The same way, should we really give the people who dislike the wee baby hearing his mommy talk for the first time, do we give them value, like, really? So, take it on board. Just go, thank you so much for the compliment. I really appreciate it. There you go. Google next. David, you're a star, brother. Okay, David, I was mentioning earlier, Lightroom and things like that, and Google Mix was the thing I didn't remember. It used to be charged, and then it went free, There's no support. I have got it saved, by the way. It's nothing illegal. It's all legit. But I think it's gone now, that you haven't got it to download. But I have it on the hard drive. And if anybody really wanted the Google Next, if it's not available, I'll upload it onto the Google thing and you can download it and whack away with it. I think it's fucking brilliant, I have to say. So thank you so much, David. Okay, there's another book, look out, Thatcher Britain, brilliant. Cafe Art, David, that's it. Cafe Art is the organisation who puts art from homeless people in their cafes and cafes throughout the UK, and they do a calendar every year. Cafe Art, guys, check it out. David's just put up a thing. Rajan Singla, hello from Mars. How are you? You from Mars? I'm from West Belfast. We've got a few loopers there too. Mars, happy days. Rajan Singla, sending you love. We're taking a candy in the Fountain Street. Okay, I've seen how people don't mind some cameras. Great lesson there, Sean, very interesting. David Lewis, I shoot video in the street. And you're a lot more visible doing that. Just look confident about what you're doing and don't go dressed like a perv. Absolutely. Absolutely. It doesn't matter whether it's video or stills. You're not doing nothing illegal. You're not doing things. Let's not. And see the big lens brigade. And I understand people's confidence. I had workshops scheduled prior to this COVID-19. People got refunded. So some of you are here on it. There was going to be workshops on street photography and also on getting confidence off it. And that had been cancelled. And one of the things I was going to suggest is if you happen to be fearful of getting interaction with people and you've got the big lens on, the big lens is the one's going to get you into trouble, I believe. That's a snooper. That's a dole. That's like the CIA or the MI5 job market. Zooming in, press, dodgy. So I would say to you not to have a big lens on, as David says, or don't look like a perv. Walk with confidence, business card, all that jazz. Joe Curry, Joe, my brother, I'd like to look at photos as soon as possible so we can anchor to a moment. If I waited, I reckon I would have a detachment. I agree with you, Joe, but here's the thing. I'm now finding photographs in my negatives I'm starting to scan that I haven't seen from, well, they've never been seen. In fact, because you might have only got one frame out of a 36 exposure, and because I never had the money just to do contact sheets, I just quickly looked through the loop, picked one photograph, printed, so you had 35 other images that I've never seen. I'm finding them now, man, and I have to say, it's like Christmas time. I know that's ego, but I have to say, so, waiting, it all depends what the image is. I was photographing the Black Lives Matter rally there. I had to get them up onto my Facebook page this evening because it's a moment in time, but there's a lot of photographs that I've taken that won't be seen for ages. So it's a wee bit of Mexico. Timeless must go, Sean. Great to hear. Great live. All the best. Timeless. Good luck, Andrew. Not a journey. Okay, we're doubling up. Currently 3 p.m. I'm just shooting down this, guys. Okay. Okay. Keith, you look after yourself, brother. Ian Ruffin, great story. Have to be leaving that. It's a brilliant experience. Hope you can do the same. Definitely. And I'll get that other camera sorted out. I don't know what this is like here, but best ways to you and your spread the love. Thank you, Kevin. Love that, man. We're going to. I have the free too. It's a pay thing now. Wow, is it still going, David? I didn't know. I thought it was scrubbed all together because they weren't doing the backup. Guys, listen. It's an hour and a half we're talking. I genuinely could talk and talk here for another hour, but I don't want to. Yeah, thanks for your time. Gotta go. Everybody's going, so I don't want to be hogging you here. 1 wee second. Thank you all so much for taking time out to sit with me here this evening. We winged it. I'm not too sure. I will get the audio, get the cameras and all sorted out, and the proper mic. Get it sorted. But look, do you know what? We'll have to make do with what we've got. Make something good out of something bad. So listen, guys, have a fantastic evening, fantastic day ahead. Stay safe, look after each other and yourselves, of course, and let me know your thoughts in the channel. Keep this going. We'll keep it going, and we'll get the crack going. Does that even make sense? I'll talk to you about the podcast in the next video, but I think probably next week, all being well, I should be up and running with some sort of podcast presence. Guys, listen, look after yourselves. Just having to be quick down, time to go. Wally W7, David Lewis, everybody. Toby, Brian Bill, Toby, that looks a cool flipping photograph, brother. Is that your thumbnail? I don't want to open it up in case it's somebody different, but yeah, from the thumbnail looking cool. Toby, I'm glad you enjoyed it. A wee quick scan. Kevin Day, loved how you handled the negative. Thank you, buddy. Everybody, thank you. Kieran McKenna, could listen to you all. Act me up. Nephew. Kieran, I'm using your phone, but I don't know if you're still there. I mentioned, the lad I mentioned, my wee nephew's taller than me. You're fucking Hercules. That's his phone I'm using at the minute. Have you got a phone for your Uncle Sean, your favourite uncle? Give me a shout. Okay, let's see. Well done, everybody. Okay, not going. Guys, I think I've covered your question. Just want to double check here. Everybody, same time tomorrow. You're a character. Huh? Okay. Guys, have a fantastic day, night, evening, week ahead. Keep safe. I've already said it. And thanks again for all your love and support on the channel. I really, really appreciate it. I don't think you know what it means to me. It's very humbling because I know time is very, very precious. You used to give me that slice of time. But to be here now, it's just fantastic. So, I'm going to hit this wee button here. Here we go. Aloha. See you later, guys.